What to do about empty houses in Japan. Today we will look at why houses are becoming vacant. In the last issue, we saw from the data that the number of vacant houses is increasing because the growth in the housing stock is greater than the growth in the number of households. Today I would like to look at the cause of this increase. I would also like to talk about the fact that taxes are actually involved. First of all, from a macro perspective, the reasons for the number of vacant houses can be attributed to the declining birth rate and aging population, the shrinking population, and the concentration of the population in cities. The Ministry of Land, Infrastructure, Transport and Tourism conducts a survey of vacant housing based on the Housing and Land Survey. The most recent version is for 2019. Let's take a look at the causes of each vacant house from the survey results. As you can see from the pie chart, the most significant cause is moving to another residence at 42%. Also of concern is the number of vacancies caused by death and moving to a nursing home or other facility. Given the structure of the population, these numbers are expected to increase in the future, so appropriate measures will be needed. What would you think if you heard that there is a tax to encourage vacant homes? Some might think that such a tax should be abolished immediately. On the other hand, there are many who would like to see a lower tax on land for our own homes. This is actually a different aspect of the same tax exemption system. There is a property tax on houses and land. If it is in an urban planning area, an urban planning tax is also levied. Therefore, residential land is also subject to property tax and urban planning tax, but the following special provisions are made. Residential land is land on which a house is built as of January 1st for tax purposes. Residential land includes a portion of land that is used for residential purposes. Among the land used for residential purposes, a portion of land up to 200 square meters for one dwelling unit is considered as small-scale residential land, and the tax base amount of property tax is reduced to 1/6. The urban planning tax is reduced to 1/3. For the portion exceeding 200 square meters, the amount of property tax is reduced to 1/3, and the tax base of urban planning tax is reduced to 2/3. These special provisions will reduce the amount of property tax and town planning tax payable on the land used for our own homes. Since food, clothing and shelter are essential to our lives, this is a welcome relief. On the other hand, let us put ourselves in the shoes of those who own vacant homes. Suppose you have to demolish a vacant house because it is dilapidated, useless, and a nuisance to the neighborhood. The cost of demolition is not small, but another problem is that once the house is demolished, it is no longer a residential property. This would result in a significant increase in property taxes and city planning fees, and ironically, the special exception for residential properties is a cause of reluctance to demolish vacant houses. As a countermeasure, the law on special measures to promote measures to deal with vacant houses, etc., was enacted in 2015, which excludes from the special exception the sites of certain vacant houses for which recommendations have been made. In addition, some municipalities, such as Mitsuke City in Niigata Prefecture and Tateyama City in Toyama Prefecture, have established systems to reduce or exempt property taxes for sites of vacant houses, etc. A second example of how the tax system can lead to an increase in vacant houses is the inheritance tax. Compared to financial assets such as cash, deposits, and stocks, the market value of land and buildings is lower. Therefore, if there are assets to be inherited by descendants, buying land and buildings and investing in condominiums or studio apartments can be a so-called tax-saving measure. As shown in the table, the tax rate increases with the size of the inheritance, so lowering the valuation of the inheritance has the effect of reducing the tax rate twice. This means that reducing the value of an inheritance has the effect of reducing the tax twice as much as the tax rate. Data from the Housing and Land Survey show that the housing stock continues to increase despite a declining population, and this is believed to be a major cause of the increase. In 2015, the Law on Special Measures to Promote Measures for Vacant Houses and Others was enacted, as vacant houses with poor management have become a social problem. The law defines vacant house and others as a building or structure attached to a building that is usually unoccupied or otherwise unused, and its land. Originally, it was forbidden to enter a vacant house without the owner's permission because it would be considered trespassing, but this law allows the government to enter to the extent necessary to conduct an investigation. The law also allows the government to use property tax records and other information to investigate owners. This law introduced the concept of specified vacant houses, etc. Specified vacant house, etc. is defined as a house which, if left as it is, could collapse or otherwise become extremely dangerous from a safety standpoint, extremely harmful from a sanitary standpoint, extremely detrimental to the landscape due to lack of proper management, or otherwise inappropriate to be left unattended in order to preserve the living environment of the surrounding area. Vacant houses, etc., which are considered to be in a condition which is inappropriate to be left unattended for the purpose of preserving the living environment of the surrounding area. If a vacant house is recognized as a specified vacant house, etc., the government may advise or instruct the owner to remove, repair, or cut down standing bamboo and trees. If the situation is not improved, the owner may receive a recommendation from the government. If a recommendation is received, the property will no longer be subject to the special measures for residential property tax. Furthermore, if the necessary measures are not taken, the owner will receive an order from the administration. Violation of the order will result in a fine of up to 500,000 yen. If there is still no improvement, administrative enforcement will be carried out at the owner's expense. According to data from the Ministry of Land, Infrastructure, Transport and Tourism, there were 1,351 cases of recommendations to exempt property from special measures for property tax in the 5 years from fiscal 2015. There were 260 cases of substitute enforcement. Proper management of vacant properties is a situation that cannot wait. In What to Do About Vacant Houses in Japan. Today, we consider the reasons why vacant houses occur in Japan. Thanks for watching.